This morning I met a friend and I asked her, how was your week? And she said to me, I think I have a fear of dropping the ball. And I stopped her. I was starting to feel really inadequate at this point. And I said, you mean to say you just have a fear of dropping the ball? You don't actually drop the ball? Sometimes? All the time? And it reminded me of an incredible story that the Talmud says. It talks about two people. One person seems to have it together. The language, in fact, that the Talmud uses is he's juggling cups of wine and without even spilling a drop of wine. If you imagine the imagery, that's someone who has it together. And meanwhile, there's someone else. And the Talmud describes them as a spiritual person. Hold on a second. What does it mean to be a spiritual person? So we're created with two different parts of us, if you will. There's our physical bodies that lives in the world, that wants to enjoy the world, wants to also be comfortable, right? The part of us that wants to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and not get disturbed. And then we have the soul, the divine part of us, the part that wants to reach our potential, achieve greatness, make a difference in the world. And those parts are often in conflict. And the spiritual person is a person who is able to use his body to feed the soul, right? To use the body to achieve what the soul wants to achieve. Now, this spiritual person, he sees this other person that seems to have it together. And he's inspired by how much he seems to has it together. And he uses that inspiration to work harder to achieve his goals. But what he realizes is that he doesn't seem to be able to keep up. And the Talmud is talking about a very specific type of person. That this person is not someone who just seems to have it together, and we don't know what goes on behind it. But it's just an extreme sort of person. And the Talmud specifically uses an extreme case to bring the example to us. This is a person who has reached the point in their life where they are totally ignoring any spirituality. Like most people, we have a guilty conscience. We have feelings that maybe I should be doing the X, Y, Z. But this person has reached a point where he can completely focuses on the physical and on materialistic gains, and is able to ignore his conscience at all. And the Talmud says, of course, the spiritual person cannot keep up with the person who seems to have it together, because the person, the juggler who's got all his balls in his air, has only one set of balls, right? All he's doing is juggling his physical needs, and he has nothing holding him back. But you, the spiritual person, you have your spiritual goals, and you using your body and your physical world and everything that you have to try and accomplish your spiritual goals. But of course, you're not going to be able to keep up with him, because you have to struggle, right? And I don't mean struggle in a negative suffering type of way, but a struggle in a positive way. Like, for example, if you go to the gym and you go to a class and you come out at the end of the class and it was easy, you're most likely going to say, I'm not going to go to that class again, I'm going to go somewhere harder. If the class was a struggle, at the end of the class you're like, wow, that was good. And the Talmud is saying that if you're juggling, right, if you're reaching for your goals and you feel, or you're afraid of dropping some balls, that's not only okay, but it's good. It shows that you're in the game, and it shows that you're you're trying to achieve your goals. And in fact, in this week's Torah portion, when Jacob and Esau's angel have a fight, the language that the Torah uses is that they struggled until morning. They wrestled until morning, to show us that just like, if the two of them, right, they kept wrestling, because it wasn't over until it was over, until the morning came, until the fight was completely over. Because even if one of them seemed to be on top, the other one would try and fight back. And that's life, right? It's not about achieving it and getting there and feeling like I have all my balls in the air, but instead it's about our commitment to the struggle. It's our commitment to listening to our soul and making a difference and connecting and doing the good in the world. That's what it's about. And if you have a fear of dropping the balls, it's okay, because it shows that you're still in the game, and you're fighting and you're struggling and you're striving, and your soul is very, very much alive.